Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Anyways, it's been a long time. A lot of things have happened. For one, I am not pregnant anymore, and we have now received a beautiful baby boy. Here he is.
So adorable.
He's a little chunky boy. Hold on, show him.
He's pretty chunky.
Here is our beautiful baby boy.
He's good.
There we go. He's being a little cranky butt right now. Anyways, we want to present to you guys Juan Carlos Jr. So his name is Juan Carlos. I know you guys are gonna say, "Oh, well, you guys have a Carlos," but he's basically gonna go by his first name because here you guys they don't use his second name. So what we've been calling him is Juanito or Baby JC. Your family a lot.
My family calls him Baby JC.
My sister calls him JC too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
but I usually call him Juanito.
Yeah.
My parents call him Juanito. What do you call him? Junior. We've called him Junior.
We call him Junior.
So he just has a bunch of names. Kind of like you.
Yeah, exactly. I have a few like.
So in case you guys don't know, his name is Juan Carlos. He goes by Juan basically. Most people know him by Juan.
But then on social media, when I used to have it, it's Carlos. And then my family calls me Champion. My little sister calls me La.
So he has a
Champignon. Carla calls him Champignoncito.
Yeah.
Not this Carla, my sister.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is going to be our labor and delivery story. We can start off by him. He was born actually on September 12th of 2018.
9:50 a.m.
9:50 a.m. So, yeah, he actually weighed 7 pounds exactly. And then he measured 21 inches, right?
Yeah.
And
20 inches.
Oh, 20 inches. Yeah, then he grew. Yeah,
then he grew 1 inch.
Anyways, yeah, he did measure that. We were expecting him to be a bigger baby because they kept telling me he was a bigger. Well, the doctors kept telling us. They were telling me he had a big head. So when he came out, the first thing I said, "Oh my God, he's so small." I kept saying it over and over.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was expecting a huge baby. He actually weighed 1 more ounce than Carlos and weighed 1 more inch. So it's like they're basically the same.
But he's gotten bigger, yeah.
So yeah, I didn't upload right away just because, I was just settling into things. But anyways, I guess we can get started with our labor and delivery story. So on September 11th, which was actually my sister's birthday, we thought he was going to be born then. He, oh, and if you guys didn't know, my actual due date was the 24th of September.
24th of September.
On September 11th at 10 a.m., I actually lost my mucus plug. And since I lost it, I lost a big chunk and then I kept losing it gradually. But ever since I lost it, I started getting contractions. And even before then, I had like little contractions.
Yeah.
We had a scare like a few days before.
Yeah, we did.
But anyways, I started getting contractions. They weren't really like as strong, but they were kind of consistent, but not as close together, right? Mm-hmm. And you were actually at work, right?
When you lost mucus plug?
Yeah. I remember I texted him. And actually...
I freaked out.
You kind of freaked out.
Yeah, I was like, Dad, we gotta go.
And actually that day I had an appointment. So that whole day I kept having contractions. As the day went on, I started getting them stronger. We had our appointment at what, at 3?
3:15 or something like that. Around 3.
And so I was like, oh, they're gonna check me. Hopefully, like, I'm dilated and they're gonna keep me. We got, before we went to our appointment, we got our diaper bag ready.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we had the car seat ready, I think. Everything, we just didn't take it down because I was convinced because at my contractions they were like 15 minutes apart at the time. 10. No, they were like 15, 20 minutes apart, but they were really strong, like really strong, like to the point where I'm like, ugh, and it was all day. So then I went to the appointment, they checked me, and I felt like more mucus was coming out. And while I was actually there, I was like, is it my mucus or is it my water leaking? Because it was like a big chunk. And it was actually not even the midwife. She was a student who ended up checking me that day.
It was a student midwife, but she was very nice.
She was very nice. She was very helpful. Anyway, she checked me and I was, what, 2.5 centimeters?
2.5 centimeters
dilated. So they're like, no, just go home, walk, drink lots of water. We can't admit you. So I was like, okay. And we actually...
to Walmart.
We went to Walmart and I could not walk on it.
I was trying to walk everywhere.
Yeah, because they told me to walk, so we're like, might as well go to Walmart. And I remember we went to Walmart and I couldn't walk. Like, I kept telling you to stop and it hurt so bad, like so bad. So then we went home. I came home and I think I laid down because that was my sister's birthday, so I wasn't gonna cook because my mom was gonna make food.
Something, yeah.
And so then we just came home and I laid down. Carlos was with my mom the whole time, so we were just here laying down. And then around my sister gets out of work at 8, so like around 8:30, 9, my mom's like, hey, come over, so we went to eat cake. Cake and pizza. We had Pizza Hut that she had, and then we ate cake, and we were there for a while because then my parents got a new fridge, and you were helping my dad like install it. And while I was there, my sister and you were timing the contractions.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You guys kept typing because it was like every 5 to 7 minutes.
It was like 6 minutes. It was like 6 minutes was like the
constant
meeting, yeah. And
my sister kept googling, no, you need to go. Like she's like, you need to go now. And I was like, no, they're gonna send me back. And so I was like, I'll just wait till the fridge, whatever. And in the end, they ended up convincing me to go. All
everybody.
Of them. Yeah. So we left like at around after 11.
After 11, it was like about to be 12.
So then we went in there, we got admitted, everything. They checked me. They're like, oh, you're a 3 solid. And while I was there, I was throwing up. Was that the time?
Yeah, you're throwing up, yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, I got there and I started throwing up, like everything. But I threw up a lot.
A lot. It was a lot.
We're going to tell him that.
Yeah. She was like, hand me the bucket. And I was like, well, because I kept telling her, I was like, do you want me to get the bucket? Do you want me to get the nurse? And she was like, no, I'm fine. And then finally she was like, get the bucket. And I was like, okay. So I ran in from the bathroom and I got the bucket. And she started throwing up, and she was like, oh, don't look at me, it's gross, and all this. And I was like, no, it's fine. She had just ate pizza. So I was like holding the bucket like really close to her. So I didn't mind the smell because it was like pizza. So I was just getting hungry. Like, I just started getting hungry.
He was really good though. He was holding my hair because my hair was getting in the way. And he was holding my hair and everything. So once they finally checked, and you told the nurse, and the nurse didn't care.
Yeah, I was like, she's throwing up in there, and then because I went to get you water.
Yeah, like I don't mind, but it's like maybe they could have given me something for my nausea.
I was like, she's throwing up in there. I was like, just letting you know, and she was like, oh, okay, and then she just like walked back that way. I was like, okay. We were at triage. Yeah, this was at triage, and then after that they checked me, and they're like, oh, you're at a 3 solid. So they're like, let me tell the doctor who's on call right now and see what he wants to do. Or she, I don't know if it was a girl or a guy. So she comes back and she's like, well, they gave you 2 options. You can either stay here and walk around till like, I don't know, you dilate more, your water breaks, or go home. And you wanted me to stay, huh? Yeah, I was like, we should just stay, but
I was like, no. I was like, I want to go home because it was hurting.
She's like, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I was like, I just want to go to sleep. I want to rest. I was like, I'm not going to be able to rest because they have, obviously she's going to want me to walk. And then those tiny beds freak me out. I start getting anxiety every time.
Yeah, every time we go into
I start shaking.
Especially at triage, because they have the really small like beds, and she gets freaked out. She just doesn't like it.
I don't know why, but it's like my legs start shaking.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Sorry, the baby needed to eat, so he's latched on. So we came back home and we laid down. Right, we went to sleep. I was in pain, like I couldn't move, and I kept telling you, I was like, this hurts way more than last time. I was like, I don't remember it hurting that much. And I was exhausted, like I was just tired. She's really tired. And so we went to sleep, which like, how long did we sleep for? Like
30 minutes.
No, it was like
35. Well, it was like 35, 40 minutes.
Because by the time we got like home, it was like already 1, right? Like what?
Yeah, it was like there. 1.
And then
it was 1 because at 1:45 was when you woke me up.
That's what I'm telling you. We came home maybe a little bit before 1. So we fell asleep. I wasn't really I was like in between because I kept getting contractions. And so I got up to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, I laid down, my water broke. And I was like, babe.
As soon as she laid down, it just...
Yeah.
And I was, I was asleep. And I'm a heavy sleeper.
Yeah, and you can't wake up.
She was like, babe, my water broke. And I was like, what? I was like, get the stuff. I was like half asleep.
We already had everything, thank God.
I was like half asleep. And I was like, let's go, we gotta go. And I was like,
so I just changed.
Out. Yeah.
And we left, right? And you, you changed too. And we went to the triage again, like literally like basically like an hour later, like maybe. Anyways, we got in there and I told her my water broke, and she's like, okay, well they didn't really believe me.
Yeah, they were like, okay, and they literally had to take a sample.
Yeah,
to see if her water had.
Well, they're like, let's gonna take a sample, and they're like, we'll have it back in 10 minutes to make sure it's the amniotic fluid that it is, or that you just didn't pee yourself.
10 minutes passed, 20 minutes passed, 30 minutes passed. a lot more time passed.
So then she came back finally, like probably like 30 or more longer.
Longer. It was like 45 minutes.
She came back, which was weird because they didn't have any other patients in triage. Like,
any other patients.
And she was only in charge of triage. But anywho, so she finally came back and she's like, yeah, so it is your water. Positive. It came out positive, whatever. We're gonna put your IV in. Holy crap!
Did she? I think she did one on this arm or two.
She did two.
Two on the right arm. Yeah, because you're on the right arm.
But up here,
and then
like this,
like up here.
I saw the mark.
And then she came back on this side, and she did 3 or 2.
No, she did 3 here, and she did 1 over here.
Oh, 3 over here and 1 over here. And then she's like, "Let me go get another nurse." Like.
Because she kept saying you have really good veins, which I've always been told that. She's like, but they keep like, what did she say? I don't know. She used a word, but they wouldn't flow. I guess I don't know. It was just weird. And so she finally got another nurse, and the nurse came and like right away. Like, and I literally had a huge bump on here.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then they gave me the nausea medicine through there right away, and then they took me into the room, which I thought they were gonna put me in the wheelchair. No, they made me walk.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
Right. So we went and, yeah, once we were there, they told me if I needed, they asked me if I had any, like, what my birth plan was, which I didn't really have one, but they asked me, like, if I wanted it, what was I thinking, like, to managing pain, and originally I didn't want anything because, I did all natural with Carlos, and I just felt, and I still, like, in a way, like, feel it, not I don't feel in that way, but I felt at the time that if I took any sort of medication, I was gonna be strong, like
mentally wise.
I thought I was gonna. No, I just think it was a sign of weakness on my part if I took any sort of medication.
But it's not. It's totally natural.
It's not. But I had a difficult.
It's different, like pregnancy and with different women.
No, yeah, no. But in my way, I thought it was gonna show a sign of weakness, and I'll explain a little bit more of that later on when it gets to that point. But anyway, so I said I needed something because I was in so much pain, like, and the contractions were pretty like back to back, honestly, but I still wasn't dilated enough. I ended up saying that I wanted the IV medication. Right? The IV, and I was like wanting it like right away. As soon as I put it in the IV, you could just see like me relax completely.
Like,
it was
completely.
like I could still feel it, but not as much. But oh my god, it was such a relief. And but that worked for maybe not even an hour, huh?
No, not even an hour. Like right after. You felt relaxed for like 30-40 minutes, and you just started
at most 40 minutes, and then it was just again like it was just so painful. And with Carlos, I remember my pain going to my back, like it starting at the front and then going to my back. With this baby, it was just all up in the front, like really. And it's weird because they always say boys go to the back, and I was like, yeah, probably because with Carlos, the pain goes to your back, like you contract in the back. No, this one was straight there, and I kept saying, why can't I go to my back so I can I feel like I can handle the pain better, but it just wasn't happening. And I ended up, I was like, you know what, get me the epidural. But like I said, I was very conflicted on getting it. So when the medicine started wearing off, they're like, we can give you another dose, but it's not going to work as much as the first round. And then after that, we can only give you one more. Like, you can't keep continuing it. So I was like, she's like, or we could do the epidural. So I was like, you know what, do the epidural.
Yeah.
Before that, I was asking questions. I was like, does it slow down your labor? Because I don't want it to slow down. And she's like, sometimes it does, but it just depends on each woman. Anyways, I didn't want to get it. I was just, because I thought it was a sign of weakness. Because in the Mexican culture, at least where, like, I'm from, where, like, not like where I'm from, but in the Mexican culture, the people around me always kind of like, oh, you're not a strong enough woman if you couldn't handle it. They always say that. Or every time that, like, since I went on that show with Carlos, it'd be like, oh, es que es una mujerzona. It's like, oh, you're very strong because you did it. And if you get the epidural, that's a sign of weakness. Everybody sees it as a sign of weakness, at least in like the people around me. So I always thought like, oh, I couldn't get it. And they're like, oh, that's bad side effects, your back hurts, which, I mean, in my 1 month postpartum, I'll update that. But anyways, I didn't want to get it, and he kept telling me, he was like, you can get it.
I was like, get it. Yeah, to me it doesn't make a difference, honestly. Like, I still see her the same, strong, because I mean, those 9 months were really hard.
Pregnancies are really hard for me.
Yeah, really hard.
So I kept telling him, like, I was like, I feel weak, like it's a sign of weakness. I feel like I'm failing myself and failing you, like I kept telling you.
Yeah, but she wasn't.
And you told me, you're like, you know what, just go for it. We don't even have to tell anybody.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, we don't have to tell anybody. I was like, get it. I was like, if they ask if you have it, just say no and just say you did natural. And that's what I thought we were gonna do. Yeah. But then you ended up telling everybody, so I was like, oh, okay.
No, well, why am I gonna hide it? You know, like.
Well, now you didn't feel like comfortable, like.
Yeah, no, but at the end, like, I just didn't think it was like. How can I say? I guess now I see it's not a sign of weakness.
It's not.
And it's like, I don't know, like it took me a while. I even like thinking now. I get emotional thinking about it. But anyways, I don't want to start crying. I don't know why.
So to all of you who want to get the epidural,
it doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't.
And your husband should support you.
So I ended up saying, okay, get the epidural. They got a little freaked out during that time because the baby's heartbeat was going down. Mm-hmm. They needed to get me hydrated, so they gave me 2. Was it how many bags? Like 2 or 3.
Those two. I think they ended up giving you 2 bags and a half, 2 bags and a half, or something like that. Yeah.
To get me hydrated.
Enough.
And it goes in so slow, like, oh my god.
Really,
do you remember the time when I got the epidural? Do you remember?
No,
I think it was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's true.
Around there.
Yeah. 3
or 4. And so she's like, don't worry, honey, we just need to get you hydrated enough because then the baby's heartbeat can go down. And I was like, okay, but I couldn't stand it. And I kept asking her, is it almost there? And she's like, we did 1 bag, and then
she's like, we need to do like more.
It was like an hour and a half until I got the epidural, right?
Even a little bit more.
Probably like 2 hours.
2 hours, honestly.
And once I was like, I can't, like, is it almost there? Like, yeah, we already called the anesthesiologist. And then when she already had, because they put like a little mask and like their hairnet when they get the epidural. And she started freaking out because the baby's heartbeat started to go down, So, I don't know what they gave. They're like, we need to wait a little bit more. They moved stuff around. I was kind of out of it because I was my oxygen. They started giving me oxygen. Because what they
oxygen.
did. They gave me oxygen because they're like, the baby's heartbeat is going down. So, once it got better. Oh, he's talking.
I know.
They sat me up and they actually let him be in the room. I know a lot of hospitals don't let him be, like, let the dad or anybody else in the room. So they ended up bringing up the bed. They had me sit up. They had me put my legs on his thighs and holding my legs.
So you can sit still.
So I can sit still, and they put the epidural. Unfortunately, it only worked on 1 half of it. I can't remember. It was on this.
On the right leg. On your right leg.
It worked, and I still kept feeling the contractions. So then they ended up moving me.
On the side. They got on your side. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had me there for a while. Once it finally started working, oh my god, it was a
so
relief.
I was able to sleep. She was able to see. Yeah, that's true.
Like, because I think I was just exhausted more than anything from like laboring all day. Mm-hmm. Like after that, everything kind of went by smoothly, right? Yeah. Like once it was like around probably because he's born at 9:50, and I pushed for 15 minutes. So probably like at 9 because they took a while because my mom wanted to go see me, but she wasn't gonna be in the room, so she stayed there for a while. And then when it was time to go check me, like, she stepped out. The nurse was like, okay, we're going to check her. And then she still took a while to come back inside. Yeah. So it was probably before 9, honestly. Probably like around 8:40, 8:50. She was like, we're going to go check her. So my mom ended up stepping out. And then once she finally came in and checked me, she's like, oh, you're 10 centimeters,
yeah,
right?
She's like, yeah.
She's like, you're 10 centimeters. And I kept asking a lot of questions because with Carlos, I felt the baby moving. And with this baby, I couldn't feel anything. So she's like, you're going to feel pressure. And I was like, oh, okay, well, but I was kind of scared because I was like, I don't feel anything. So then she was like, how long did you push for your last one? And I said, like, most 10 minutes. So she's like, okay, we have to get the midwife in here.
Yeah, and the midwife came in. She was like, we already have a baby? And I was like, what? And she started putting on the stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, they were
getting me ready.
Yeah, they started getting me ready. And I was like, where are the other people at? And she started doing it without the other people present.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, yeah, let's go for it.
I think there was just 2 other nurses that came in later. And it was weird for me too because I was like, oh, already?
It was quick, yeah.
It was quick. Like, and it was because with Carlos I felt it, so I was like, okay, like I need. With the other one, like they didn't believe me, so I was like, I need to push. And with this baby, so they were waiting on the contraction, and they started telling me when to push, and that's when I kind of knew, like I started feeling the pressure, and I just wasn't breathing, and that I think if I learned how to breathe, like
because she was pushing and she'd hold her breath, and she just wouldn't have any like strength. So they started. So after like a while, after like a few minutes of her pushing, they told her how to breathe. They told her, like once you're like, you know,
you like catch your breath.
Catch your breath so you can push again. And then they started telling her, like, they were like every contraction, right?
And then after that I was like, no, I need to push. Like,
yeah, like so after they were doing like every contraction, and then she just started. They're like, can I push? And they're like, if you can push, go ahead and push. Like, if you can do it, do it. And she started doing it, and
they were like, do you want a mirror? I'm like, no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you have the baby. You can feel the baby coming. And then you're like, you want to feel the head? And I'm like, nope. I was like, oh, that freaks me out.
And they kept asking me if I was okay.
Okay, so after 15 minutes, he came out. Just little angel came out. He's so cute. And they put him on my chest, and then I kept telling her, I was like, he's so tiny. Like, he's so small.
Yeah, because they told, like, I mean, everybody, like, they were like, oh, he's going to have a big head. He's going to be a big baby. And
I was a lot bigger than my other pregnancy, so I was convinced that he was going to be a big baby too. But he was just the perfect size.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute. Look at my baby. Oh, baby hermoso. Sí, that's bien chulo too. Anyways, I get into it. So they ended up doing skin-to-skin contact, and
he started breastfeeding right away.
He started breastfeeding right away.
Like literally, she put him on her chest, and the baby got latched right away. Right away,
like I put obviously my nipple in there, and then like he latched right away. They cleaned me up, and then they're like, well, you can have him, which I really like. They gave me a lot of time.
A lot of time.
And because I was like, are you guys gonna take him? And she's like, no, we give him a few minutes to do the skin to skin, and for him to latch on and like try and breastfeed. So then they did, and his mom and then my mom, after they got me cleaned up, he just farted.
Yeah, Jesus.
They ended up coming in. His mom, my mom, and his sister. And they were able to see there. And then once they finally took him off of me, they were able to see when they cleaned him, when they measured him, weighed him, everything. So when they came in, we didn't know how much he weighed or measured or anything. It was after a while, huh, baby? Yeah, you're so perfect. Yeah, you are. Look at his big old smile. And so he weighed 7 pounds exactly, and then 20 inches.
Oh, why did I say centimeters?
I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty much it. What happened? I didn't get any stitches.
Yeah.
It was really good because I was scared of the recovery. So recovery was a lot easier this time around. So the funny thing is he came out pooping, right? Like, cause he on him.
He came out and he pooped right away, And
then they were changing him, and he pooped. And then you tried putting the diaper on, and he pooped again. And the nurse is like, "Oh, he's such a boy."
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. After a while, they just took me to the
other room.
Other room, and that was pretty much it. Right. The nights at the hospital, we spent one night there after. Mm-hmm. And everything was good. The hospital was amazing. We didn't vlog it or anything. Number one, we weren't allowed to film there. Number two, we couldn't find the batteries of the camera that day.
Right.
We just
after.
No, the thing is, they ended up being in
my backpack.
In the backpack we took for the hospital, which was kind of I don't know. That was basically our labor and delivery story. Is there anything else you want to add? How was your experience in the labor?
It was good. It was.
Was it what you expected? Was it more scarier?
It was what I expected. It was less scarier than I expected. But like, seriously, what tripped me out was when the doctor's like, "Let's get her to have a baby." Like,
and I think he was expecting me to scream too, because
cause I swear she didn't scream. Like, she'd just be like, and then she catching her breath, and then like she just start pushing, and I was looking at her and I was like, "You go, babe." I was like, "You got this."
He was very attentive. I do want to say that. Like, he was very there for me. And he was very supportive, like cheering me on the whole time, like what you did. That was pretty much it. My nurse was really, really good, like amazing. I honestly like the hospital was like amazing.
Amazing overall.
There's nothing bad I have to say.
Except the girl in triage. The girl in triage, man.
We had already gotten her the time before I was in the hospital, and she was pretty rude the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was basically it, guys, for our labor and delivery story. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for the 1 month update for the baby and postpartum for me. And then I do have a vlog coming up. It's already edited and everything. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to
let us know
down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell and comment down below. Alright, thank you guys.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye guys. Wapa.